All right, I'm recording now. So as I was saying, I'm going to log in. Please, in the process of this training, if you have any question, just notify us. We'll quickly look at it before we proceed. So crown system solution is broken down into modules that handles various aspects of crown system solution. We have the enrollment module. We have the billing module. We have the crown assessment, crown movement tracking, and all that. So under here, you can see a summary of what module entails. So for crown enrollment, if you are going to handle today, which serves as the bedrock of everything you are going to be doing with crown system solution. So it handles enrollment activities like the biodata registration, class and subject mapping, and etc. So I call this enrollment the foundation because each of these other modules you see in crown system solution, they are hinged or they are built upon this enrollment module because every information that each of these modules are going to be using or are going to be accessing, they are captured in this enrollment module. So now, if you look at my screen, this place we call it the dashboard of crown system solution. Then this place is the menu. Now, each of the icons you see here, you see their names here. So what this means is that you can actually go in from this place, or you can go into the module from this place. So you can reduce or expand your screen using this icon that is here. So you see my screen is expanded, but I prefer it this way because I use both this place and this place to do whatever I want to do. Now, if you want to go into any of the modules, all you need to do is come to these menus that are here and click on them, any of the modules. Click on it, then you go in. But if you don't want to use that place, alternatively, you can come to this place and click on go. All right, so we are going to crown enrollment proper. I'm using this place, I click on go. Now you discover something happened. Now you have 3 subdivisions, I mean 4 of the enrollment module. And the same thing you are seeing on the dashboard is the same thing you are seeing here as well. So whatever happens to the dashboard happens to this place. Now before we go into the enrollment proper, let us look at this place. This is an icon here called the dashboard. What does it do? When you click on the dashboard is going to give you a summary of whatever that is happening in the system. Now I go back, I do that again. The dashboard. This place is called a dashboard. That is what it's called. But we have an icon here called the dashboard. I have an icon here called the dashboard. So I click on the dashboard, opens up for me. I see a summary of whatever is happening in the system. Now I have the number of classes here. So at a glance, you can have an idea of the quantity or level of work that is done in the system already. Students, number of students here, number of long-term absentees, number of teachers, number of weeks remaining in the school, and debtors. Now you have the teachers leadboard. Why you are not seeing anything here is because that information was not captured. Now you discover that the computer system uses the principle of zero, which is garbage in, garbage out. So because you have not garbaged in the teacher's leadboard and the messages, you can't see anything here. So what the teacher's leadboard is maybe the best teacher of the school of the year, the most punctual teacher, all those accolades. So when you capture those information, you see them here. Then the messages, the text messages that you send out to parents. Because actually, in fact, when we get there, I want to take it step by step. Let me not just run down everything at the same time. All right, now we have another icon here, which is student by class. So this student by class, what it actually does is that at a glance, you can see all the students in a particular class from here. So all you need to do is click on that binocular. You can start. You can start if there are too many of them, but there are not too many here. So I can just scroll down And let's see, for example, primary 4. Let's click on primary 4. And you click on go. Then you see now all the students in primary 4. You can see them here. You can print this and print this information. We have the admission numbers, we have their names. So if anybody that asks for it, I need the students in primary 4. So you can quickly go there, print this information, and make it available for the person or the individual. All right. So having said that, let's go into the enrollment proper. Now we have the enrollment static data, the enrollment transaction, enrollment auto update, enrollment report, which is of course what is here in the dashboard as well. What is here in the dashboard as well. Now the enrollment static data, just like the word static, what it means is that data that are captured here are like one-off data or one-time data that you capture. You don't need to be changing them from time to time. You just capture them, you have captured them. The only thing you need to be doing is just to be editing them if there is need for that, or if there is need for addition to add to the already existing data, then you come to static and you do that. So we are going to start from here. The static. Like I said, you can either go from here or go from here. But this time, let me go from here. You still have the same results. Now we have all the feeds here listed in alphabetical order. All these things, they are just like spreadsheets. They are just like spreadsheets when you enter into them or when you download the template when you want to use it offline. I don't want to go into that now. Let's take it slow by slow, slowly rather. So each of these icons you are seeing here, they are just like a shelf in a file cabinet that contains files of students or files containing information that are peculiar to them. Now we have the classes in listing, we have the class and subject and all that. So under each of them, you have a summary of what they do. But when you want to capture the information, you don't follow it alphabetically this way because there are some tables. There are some tables because this is a table. Class and listening is a table. Class and subject mapping is a table. Country and listening is a table. So those of us that did computer science, you know what a table is. So these tables, there are some of them that are dependent on some other tables. That when the information they are not captured, if you want to enter into another table, you cannot have a success because you need to retrieve the information that is captured in another table for you to really work on those tables. What I mean is this. Like the student biodata, for example, let's go to create. Now discover that when you want to capture class details, there's a binocular here that you need to select something from. So here now you see that this class details, if there is no information in class and listing, then you cannot have it. You cannot be successful capturing the student biodata. That is just summary of what I mean. Then the next school annexing, you can see there, and the next promotion class. So in fact, virtually everything that is here, you need to go to a particular table where they are captured for you to really get the information you need to fulfill this your purpose. Now, let's start with class and list. We are not going to take this one after the other. I'm going to use some to explain some so that we move. Now, class and listing. If you go to class and listing quickly before we proceed, you see that there are fields here. Now we have come to field. This is table. This one is a table. This one is a table. This one is a table. Then inside the table we have fields. It's just like your spreadsheet, your Excel sheet that you open a particular Excel sheet. Then inside the spreadsheet, you have your columns and your rows. You have columns and rows there. So that is just the concept that we use here. So now, this field that has asterisks on it, we call them compulsory fields. What I mean by compulsory field is that you can fill out every other table that is not necessary here, but if you don't fill them, the system will not create that entry. That is what we mean. So whenever you are going to, once you start your hands-on, maybe from today or tomorrow, when you are creating things, look out for this asterisk. Because if you don't input any data there, then you are not going to make the entry. Now, each of these fields or these boxes here, they have the limits they can take. So it's not that as if you will just come and then you will now be typing. No, they have the limit. So my advice is that you make your entry as concise and brief as possible, so as not to exceed the limit, so as not to give yourself a double work. Now, for the class ID here, you discover that the limit it can take is just 5. But the class name can take up to 20 or so. So you can up to 20. So you can continue to type class name. So anything that has to do with ID or code normally ends with either 5 or at most 8 in case of when we get to assessment. It can be more than just within that range, 5 to 8. So you just need to be very careful when you are inputting data here, and especially when you are using the Excel sheet, because we have the upload module which we will come to. I didn't want to go there. In those upload module, you just need to have an idea of the number of characters that a particular field can take. So when you do it in that Excel sheet and upload it, the system will not reject it, but rather the system will populate. So having said that, and I mentioned things concerning compulsory field before. So you see that I just entered here and I left. So it turned red and it was asking me to fill it out. The same thing happened here. So showing you that it is compulsory. But this one, class tutor, next promotion class, and the guardian counselor, they are not compulsory fields. So if you just fill these compulsory ones, you don't have this information yet. These ones, these 3, you can make this entry in the system. So let's just create a class. Please, can someone just give me you over there in UK? What is the just give me a class name. Let us look for a code for it. Now, note one thing: the code is what you derive or what the school agreed to use, so that everyone will be able to recognize that code at a glance. So it's not something that is cumbersome. So it is specifically for schools or more for schools. So they agree on, look at the code we are going to use for a particular thing. So they capture the code so that everyone knows this is the code that we want to use. So please, someone should just give me a class name.
Year 7.
Pardon?
Year 7.
Okay. Year 7. So we can just give it a code YR7. Is that okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the class position. Now, there is something tricky about this class position. Now, before we'll come back to this place. Let us go back, take the list of classes that are here already, and we'll know the highest position. Because if there are entries here already, 2 classes cannot have 2 positions at the same time. So they have to, they are in hierarchies. Reason being that students are moved from a class of lower hierarchy to a class of higher hierarchy. So now we have 14 here. We have 18. We have 18 here. Let us see. So 18 is the highest. Since we have come here, let me explain something here. Now, each of these fields, we have the create, we have the update. The update here gives you the list of already existing entries in the system. The reason why I came here, the way I came is because I'm already used to the system. So you can use this update when you click on okay, let's leave this class. Let's come to another one. Let's go to classes and subject matter, the second one. Let's use updates here. Now you see, it brings me to the lists. It just listed the entries that are here in these classes and update. Classes and subject mapping, the ones that have already been created here. So you see, it just gives me the list. Now, if you look at up here, you see show 10 entries. So what this means is that you only have 10 entries showing at a page because this is how it was set up in the administration or the control panel of current system solution. So you can always change that. But when you come here and you discover here now, we have 10 entries. Now, that is going to make us to have, due to the amount of data that is captured here, we're having 3 pages. We're having 3 pages. So you can navigate page 1, page 2, page 3. So you see that the pages, there are 3. Now, there are some that have more than that, like the student biodata, for example. Let's click on update. You discover that this one has 26 pages. So what it means that when you are looking for something, you are going from page to page to look for that thing. But you can make your work easier. Let's go back to that class. You can make your work easier by increasing the number of entries that can be shown. You can increase to 25, 50, or 100. Let's use 25, for example. Now, we can see everything on the page. Not even everything. You still have 2 pages. Let's take it to 50. Now, it has reduced to 1 page. So you can, when it is in pages, you can use the previous, and you can use the next to navigate. Now, let's go back to our 10 pages. But, when you're looking for something, you can't just be going from page to page to page to page. The design wouldn't make any sense that way. So that is why we have this start button. This start button. Now, once you use the update and the system brings you to a list of entries that are created in the system, you have the field names up. You have the class ID, class name, class position, class stream. Yes, these ones. Now, you can always search whatever you are looking for under any of these field names. So you can search using the class ID. You can search using the class name. You can search using the class position. You can search using the class stream. Any of them that you type in on the search box here, it will take you to every entry that has those either figures or alphabet in them. You can narrow it down to even 1. So for example, let's go to page 3. Page 3 will have SS2C. Let's go back to page 1. We are looking for SS2C. You type here SS. Now you see that everything that has SS is here. Now let's go to 2. It has narrowed it down to SS2A, SS2B, SS2C. Now we want SS2C. Now we see that it has narrowed it down. So as you are typing, it's narrowing it down. So it searched with, now it appears the class ID and the class name, they are the same thing. But when they are different, you can start with any of them. Now let's start with class position, which is 16. You see that the classes that are in position 16, they are SS2. SS2. But this SS2 is divided into A, B, and C. A, B, and C. That is why you have 3 classes. Look at if you have 3 classes in the same position. But practically, it's one class. It's just that it has 3 arms. So is 3 of them are grouped into 1. So they are in 1 class position. Now, before I move out from here, now what I've been explaining, the principle here is basically the same principle in every of the table across all the modules of current system solution. So that is what you are going to see in every one of them. Now we have the view, we have the edit, we have the delete. So the view option We only give you the details of what the information that was captured in that class. Up to, it will give you the username that made the entry. That's created by username, created by admin, the dates. So this one is some of the security measures of the system. So whatever you do in the system records it against your username. So anybody that goes to view for that particular entry will see that it was you that made this entry in the system. Now you see created by admin. We have created on the date and the time the entry was made. Then if another person with a different username or the same person comes into the system and updates or edits the entry that another person made, the system is going to record that. Now, in this case, you have this entry was created by admin on this particular date. Now, someone came with the username Helen and updated it on this particular date, on this particular time. Now, I see this entry was made on the 7th of August. Is that August? Yes, 2019. But the person that updated it on the 16th of December 2020. So those are some of the security measures. Now, instead of going back and forth to do things, you look under here, you see print, back, delete, and edit. So the same thing you saw, let's go to back. The same thing you saw, edit, delete. When you go to view, after viewing whatever you want to view, instead of going to back, then going to edit to do the editing, you can go straight from view and you click on edit. Then it brings you to where that entry was made proper. Then you can edit whatever you want to edit. But there is one caution here. You cannot edit the ID or the code. You can't edit it, because that is what the system uses to tie down every other information that you have. So if it happens that you don't need that thing again at all, you just you delete it, delete the entry outside and recreate it. But however, there are some entries you can't delete in the system. We will come to that when we get there. Something like this class enlisted now, you can't just easily delete it, because there are some information that are already linked or anchored in this class enlisted. You can't just delete it like that. Now, anytime you're editing an entry in the system, once you are finished with what you are doing, you click on update. If not, if you don't click on update, nothing will not save. The system will not save the entry. So remember, anytime you edit whatever you are editing in the system, you use the update icon to save that in the system. Now let's go back. I've talked about edit. Now delete. Let's see if we can delete. Like I said something, there are some entries you can't delete in the system. Let's see delete now. And the system gives me a warning message. You want to delete this record? I say yes. I click on yes. You see, it's giving me an error message. Unable to delete this record. This record is used by some tables. So you see, there are some tables. So you just need to be careful. So for me to really delete this table, this thing now, that particular entry, I will need to go to wherever or whatever record that is attached to them and untouch those records. Then I will delete the record. So that's why the system is highly sophisticated, that the security measures they are very strict and stringent, in that nobody can just come and mess with the data that is already captured in the system and go away with it. All right. So having explained that, like I was saying before, if you want to list the already existing entry, you use the update. But if you want to make new entries, you use the create. But how be it when you're already in the update, in the list, instead of you going back to do create, you can just use new record here. You can use new record. New record, then you create whatever you want to create. Yes, let's go back to what we wanted to create before. We said the class name is year 7. We are going to give it YR 7. Class position now. The highest class position we saw there was 18. So we'll give this 19. Class 3. Let's give it year 7A. That is where that YR7 wow, someone changed this thing. This is a bug. This particular field is alphanumeric. It's alphanumeric. I don't know why. This is a bug in the system. It's alphanumeric. Then class form. Leave it as class form. Class size, class tutor. Let's just fill out everything. Right, you have this, you already have you here. So you are the teacher. And your mom is the guardian counselor. The next promotion class, let's leave that. You fill this YR7. Okay, let's create this entry. So the entry has been created in the system. If you still want to create another one, why you see that there are two options here. You have the create and finish. Create and finish. You will create the entry, the system will still open the same page for you to make another entry. But create and finish, you make the entry and take you to the list of what was created. Now we can't find YR7 here, so let's just start it. And that is what we just created. Let's view. I'm the one that created this today, 14th of June 2023, 11:48:15 a.m. All right, so that is that for that. Do you have any question? Anybody with any question? Anybody with question? No question, we are good. I presume we are good. Now, the same thing is applicable to department. The same thing is applicable to employee, separation code, and all that. Now, let me quickly explain some things before I move. So, subject and listing is where you create your subjects. Terms and listing is where you specify the terms in the system. So, let's just be quickly looking at them. This is term. For Nigerian schools, you have only 3 terms per session, which is term 1, term 2, term 3. So the code we normally use generally in crown system solution is TM001 for first term. TM0, but you can put your own, but that is what we normally use for schools here in Nigeria. So that is the terms and listing. Then we have the subject and listing where we create the subjects. Only thing you need here is just the subject ID and the name, and both are compulsory fields. We have the student houses. Student houses where you have yes, that's for sports purposes. For sports purposes, those of us that are here in Nigeria, the schools from primary to secondary level, they have what we call the school house, where you group the students into particular groups that we call houses. Mostly they have their uniform and their color. So they use it to do competition. To know who will go home with the trophy and all that. We have the state enlisting. The state enlisting is where you list out the states that are in the country of the school that has this system, and possibly some other states in some other countries. That if it is an international school that you have, like here in Nigeria, there are schools that have international students from wherever they are coming from. So you need to capture the states in those countries. For how big before you capture the states, like I said before, there are things you need to capture like the country and listing now. You capture country like Nigeria. So like the state you are capturing, you have not already captured the country. You know you need to come back and do the country. You need to like capturing the country. Let me show you what I mean. State and listing. If you are going to create a state, then you are going to tie it to a particular country. So if the country is not captured in the system already, then you are not going to be able to capture that state unless you are going to assign another country to it, which is not going to make any sense. State and listing separation code, very important. This separation code, when you are capturing student biodata, is very important because you use it to know the students that are current in the school. We have 5 of them here. We have current, we have graduated, transferred, dismissed, and suspended. So the students that are current in the school, you assign the separation code RS 001 for them. Then the ones that are not current in the school, the ones that are transferred, maybe when students are no longer in the school, you are deactivating them. You are going to assign if they have graduated or they are transferred or dismissed, suspended. You are going to give them this separation, assign this separation code to them. All right. Separation code, school annexing is the branches of the school. Oh. What about that? So I was talking about annexing.
No, sorry, we lost you a bit.
Yeah.
Where you said those students that are current. So from that point, we didn't hear anything again.
Okay, I lost the information. Right. That was on separation codes. So I'm saying that the students that are current in the school, or when you are capturing new students, their status is current. So you assign this RS001 for them. But if they are students that have left the school, you are going to assign a different one. Maybe they are transferred, dismissed, suspended, or if they are not here, then you create your own. You know that this student, when you are looking at the profile of that student, you will see the position of the student in the school. All right. So that being said, we'll have our next thing. Yes, I'm saying that this is where you capture the school has branches elsewhere. Then you capture that. For this particular school, it just has only one branch. So you just capture that. Just capture that. But if it has 2, 3 branches, but normally what you do is that if the school has more than one branch, you create more than one branches. So each branch will have their own peculiar environment. So instead of mixing things up, they have their own peculiar environment. But where they want it to be one environment, if they can manage it, then all their students will be in one environment and the branch. They are going to specify the branches here. So when you are looking at the profile of the student, you know the branch that student is. So that is for school annexing. Then facility and listing is where you list out the whole facilities that are in the school, the administrative department, the library, the physics lab, chemistry lab, all those facilities that you find in the school. Just for record purposes and for accountability purposes. So when you are taking inventory, you know the things you have and the things you don't have. So you know when to add things and when to remove things that are irrelevant. So that is for facility and listing. Department, where you create the department in the school. Here you see the ones you have created. So all I will need you to do when you're doing your hands-on, first of all, look at these tables and see how they are created. Then you create yours. Then you can edit some of them just to be conversant with the functionality. All right, so having said that, I'm rushing because I am going somewhere. just have like three to touch, which are very important. And those three are the classes and subject mapping is one of them. Classes and subject mapping. When you capture your classes in the school, the classes you have in the school, you capture into the system, you capture the subjects. So now the system doesn't know the subject that are being offered in any of the classes. And the students, when you're capturing them, you're going to tie them to classes. So the system needs to know the subject that are offered in this particular class. Like that we created, that year 7 we created. Now we have created year 7 as a class. Let us use that one for example. Let us assign subject to year 7. Class code here. How to do that? Use classes and subject mapping create, or if you are on a bit already, on update already, use new record. New record will take you to where you're going to create. So let's go to year 7. So here now we are creating. You see that there are many things here. You can't find year 7 unless you are going to navigate using next, previous, last, or first, which I don't have that time because I already know the class name that I want to do. I go to start, I type year, just as I just put the first two words, it comes up. I click on it, click on select year 7. So year 7, what subjects are going to be offered in year 7? We have agri science. I click on it, click on select. Now it's not only agri science that is going to be offered in year 7. I add. That is how I'll continue adding. If I click on add, it opens a tab where I can capture something. Now let's give it a picture for that. Select. This is not working. Pardon me. I didn't work. So regressive testing. That's what we call regressive testing. It identifies some of these bugs. But just to clarify you, the environment that has this functionality, I don't think the codes have been updated to this particular one, which is going to be reported so that it will be updated, or the environment we copied this data from so as to test doesn't have this functionality in their school. It's not peculiar to their school. So if we bring the data that works with this particular functionality now, you see it working. All right, just to clarify a few things. Now, this is where you put the subject outline or the scheme of work or the course outline, whatever you call it, the syllabus, like what and what and what this particular class is going to be dealing with or dealing on as regards agricultural science. So that is what we put here. But if you don't have the information here, you can put something like available on request. Or whatever it is you think will be convenient for you. So let's just map three subjects to this class and we move. All right, so this is how you map subject to classes. Just this process. Now, then you click on let's create this. Let's create this. Class subject is same code exists already exists. Please provide unique code. That's a bug. That's a bug. Definitely is a bug. That's a bug. That's a bug in the system. It should create. It should create. That's a bug in the system. So the regressive test is what brings when there is a code change in the system, it affects some of the functionalities. So when we do regressive test, we fix those bugs that comes up. All right. So having said that, but basically this is how to do classes and subject mapping. So you can use this remove.
Sorry, sir. Sorry to cut in, please. You mentioned regressive and regret. I mean, so I want to ask regressive and regression. Is it the same?
It's just the terminology that I use.
Dodgy. Okay, okay. Thank you.
So let us go back. I want to explain something quickly. Like this particular class come, we want to edit it. They just put only one list in there. And it should work now. It's a bug. The person that created this mapped the subject to that way. So this is a bug in the system. Just one. All right. Let's go to one that has too many. Oh wow, who did this? Wow. So assuming this particular subject, uh, CRK G2 is no longer relevant. It's no longer relevant to this class. To this class, all you need to do is come to remove. Click on remove. The system removes that. Then you go to update and you save that. Or if another subject has replaced it, any of them, you just come here, replace with that subject, and then click on update. The system saves it. But I like it the way it is, so I'm not going to alter anything. When you're doing your own testing, you can do all those operations. So basically, that is what we do in classes and subject mapping. So what classes and subject mapping does is that it assigns classes subjects to the classes where they should be taken, so that any student that you tie to that class will take those subjects, unless of course you go and remove manually those subjects from that particular student that he or she is not taking this subject. We will get to that, how to do all this one. Now, having done that, let's capture our employee. So these are the employees that are captured already in the system. So when you want to capture them, you just need to fill out this information here, which of course, all of them are compulsory information apart from passport. Apart from the passport. Every other information here are compulsory. So I would like you to create some employee, maybe using your name, or your name is already captured in the system. Just create some employees. So when you are done with that, then we have what we call employee and classes mapping. So employee and classes mapping, what this facility in the system does is that it specify the subject that are being taught by a particular employee in the school. It specify them, employee and subject mapping. So that is what it does. So let's just view one. This one, I want someone that has many. Yes, this one now teaches 3 arms of one class. No, yes, three different classes. We have DSS1A, DSS1, DSS2A, and DSS3A. And he is the one that is handling this particular subject, three vocational studies in these 3 classes. So that is what I mean. So here you tie them. So for you to create that, let's go to a new record. That's the same thing we saw in classes and subject mapping. You select a particular employee. You assign a class that he or she is teaching. Let's see this class, for example. The subject he or she is teaching in that class. Teaching this. Then he has another class he's taking also. So we click on add, we open another tab. So he's teaching this class. What is he teaching in that class? He's teaching let's go to teaching the making. He's taking another class too. So let's look for another class. Let's do this one. or maybe this one. What the subject is teaching in that class? He's teaching this in that class. He's teaching another class, we open. No, he's not teaching any other thing, we remove. That goes, we create. And that has created. And EM00, EMO013. Let us go and look for what we just created. Yes, this is it. This is the one we just did. Okay, let's view. So this is what we created now. This is what we just created. So this person is taking these subjects, is taking these subjects in these classes. We can edit this entry, just the same thing we did. Wow. Let's go to the one that has more data on it. You can edit, you can use remove if you no longer teaching, or if the classes have changed or the subject has changed. You use this to do that. You click on save and you save that. All right. Wow. So anyone with any question? Because this one I'm just zooming, so that we can, all of us can go on the same pace. Please, do you have any question?
Yes. No, I don't have any questions.
Samuel, how about you?
No, I don't have any questions.
So all of us are following.
Yes.
Yes, I'm following.
I'm a good teacher then.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. All right. So like I said, I was rushing to somewhere, and I've been through with two of those. Last one is the student biodata registration, which is why we are even in school. The employees, the teachers, whatever they are, if the students are not in school, they will not have work, or probably they will be doing some other things apart from working in school. So it is because of the students that we have come to school. Now I want to capture the student details. Now the student details is very, very big or bulky, so to say. I will have the first page, we'll have the student basic details, have the class details in page 2, the address, page 3, page 4, sponsor details, parent. Actually, they are pages because any of them that you click is going to take you to the particular page. So you use it to, you just navigate that freely. Or when you are through with filling whatever you want to fill here, use next. Take you to the next page. Now let's start with basic details. We are not going to capture. So this is the last admission number that was captured in the system. I mean, this is a number higher than the last admission number that was captured in the system. So the system will always give you where you are supposed to start from. So it means that the last admission number should be ABMC01. So when you are capturing another one, you are capturing from ABMC02. But how big you can, because this is a UAT environment, you can give your own admission number. Like the example we are seeing here, 2005 stroke BA stroke 0 into 4 808. That's tetra 4 808. All right. So having said that, this is the information you need. And you need the surname, the first name, the other name, date of birth, and it's just like filling form. So it's a piece of cake. Date of admission, the reference, school house. This one is not a compulsory field. Paragraph, the photograph of the student. If you have it, fine. you don't have it, you can always come back to that by using the AD. So class details, the entry session is already here. It's defaulted in the system. The system already gives you the current time. And then the entry class, you are going to fill that. Then the next, the system already defaulted that. So you need not worry yourself. So this guy is entering in JSS1A. It means that the next promotion class will be JSS2A. So you can't skip JSS2 and go to JSS3. Entry class always is something as the current class, unless in cases where the school has been in existence for a long time, that maybe people that entered the school starting from JSS1, they are now in SS3. So in that case, entry class is going to change. Entry class is going to be different from the current class. But where is a fresh student, the entry class is going to be the same as the current class. So now, to discover, I was explaining something in this separation code. I was explaining something there, and I was saying that there are students that are current, there are students that are graduated, there are students that are doing, there are students that are that. So this is where you have that information to capture now. Now the system defaulted to arrow 004, which of course is not what we need. Arrow 004 is dismissed. But this student, we are capturing him or her afresh. So he's a new student. He has not committed anything yet. Maybe he or she will commit in the future, but for now we don't know. What we know now what we know now is that he's current or she's current in the school. So that is it. We use that current. So we change it to our 001. We use the next, the addresses, home address 1. So here in the addresses, we only have 3 fields that are compulsory: the home address 1, the state of origin, and the country of origin. So we see the need to capture those ones. So this one now, you don't just come and fill it. We are going to go to a particular table to select it from. So you select one peculiarity about this country is that once you select the country, if you come to state, the state is going to take you to the states that are created under that country. You see here now for Ghana, GS that we selected, we only have 2 countries, 2 states created for Ghana, which is GH. Now let's see United Kingdom, for example. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 created for UK. Let's see Nigeria. This is Nigeria. Now, the states in Nigeria will be listed for you to select from. Now, you can imagine whereby you created a state that is in UK, and because you did not create the country UK, in your haste, you tie that state to Nigeria. You tied the state to Nigeria, and later on, you went and created UK as a country. And you select UK here, and you are going to states, you are looking for the states that you created that are supposed to be in UK, but because you tied it to Nigeria, it's not appearing. Then you know that you have given yourself work. All right, so having said that, the sponsor details. We have a sponsor name, which is compulsory, sponsor telephone number and email used to be compulsory fields. Reason being that the system uses this information, the sponsor email and the sponsor telephone number, to send out information. Because you use this system to send mail, you use this system to send SMS. So there are some of those mails and SMS that you just need to select the whole school. You don't need to be sending it one after the other. When you select the whole school, you need this whole school, the whole students in the school, the people that are sponsoring them to get this message via SMS or mail. So you select the option of the whole school. Things like the billing. Sometimes, not sometimes, when you prepare the bills in the system, you need to send it across to the parents so that they will know. Look at what they are due to pay this particular term or this particular session. Or some things like the attendance. That once you take attendance the system is going to send messages to people that did not come to school on time or we are not in school that particular day. So people at home are going to receive these messages. So the information you capture in sponsor email is what the system is going to pick and send that information. Or at the end of the term, when you are finished with the exam and all that, you are sending the information and you select option the whole school, or you select the option the class, and you select that class. The system is going to come to the class, filter all the students in that particular class, filter them, then go pick the email addresses that were captured for them in the sponsor email address and use it to send that information. So each person, student A, the sponsor email address, we get student A report card. Student B, the sponsor email address that was captured for him or her, we get his or her own report card. So that is why this sponsor email and this telephone number is very, very important. And you capture it and you capture the right thing in the system. Because if you don't capture the right thing, of course the system will send the information, but it will not be delivered. So the people that have the right thing here or that have things captured for them here will be the ones receiving it. So as a parent at home or as a teacher that has an oversight of it, we now have to now be sending it at a letter. That is something he or she would have done at a click. At just a click, we will now have to be doing some other things just to get that information across. All right, so that is for the sponsor email and sponsor telephone number. And I believe that your credentials was sent to your mail. So you are captured as employee. For the employee biodata, there is an option for mail there. So if your mail was captured there, when you are created as a user, the system generates your username or the username that was assigned to you and your password and send it directly to your mail. So you now use that credential to log in to the system. So that is the importance of this mail and telephone number. Now we have the parent details. You might be wondering why we have the sponsor, we have the parent. And you might be wondering why we use this sponsor email and sponsor telephone to send mail instead of the parents. The sponsors, they are the ones sponsoring the student. I mean my own logic now. They are the ones sponsoring the student. So sometimes the sponsor might be the parent. Sometimes the sponsor might not be the parent. So it's only wisdom to use the sponsor details to send out information. Then you can as well send to parents. So there is option whereby you can actually put the particular email or the phone number that you want that is not captured in the system to use to send whatever you want to send. So you have the father's details at the left-hand side of the screen here. You have the mother's details. Up to you capture the father's profession and even the mother's what they are doing. Then the previous school details, which is the last page. The previous school name, the last class the person attended, then the reason the person left the school. You see now, this has come to play again. Was he transferred? Was he dismissed? Was he suspended? So you select that. Now, for additional information, now this is where you capture, maybe this person was deficient in English language, or he or she find it difficult to follow mathematics. So you capture that additional information here. Or this particular person is allergic to something, or is on medication, as in is being treated for something, that's something that is wrong with him or her. So you capture that additional information here so that the teacher that is going to handle this particular student is going to know his or her area of concentration or his or her area of caution. So that is why we have this option here. Although it's not a compulsory field, but it's a necessary field. So having captured all this, you do your create, the system opens this place again, you capture for another student, you do your create just like that, or if you are done, use your create and finish. System creates that information and system brings you to the list of students are already created. So you see, these are up to 26 pages. Now 10 times 26, that is 266 students that are created in the system. All right, we are done with enrollment specific data. Wow, that was fast enough. Now we have the transaction data. The transaction, anywhere you see transaction in the system, whether any module that you have transaction, the transaction is where you carry out your daily activities as regards that particular module in the system. Now for the transaction, we have activation data entry, the activation data entry, which is merged into one in the dashboard. We have the activation one side, the activation one side. Now we have the enrollment data entry. The enrollment data entry. Let us start with the enrollment data entry. When I was in school, before we take exam at the end of the term, maybe in the beginning of the term, you need to go to the administrative block to register the subjects you are offering for that term. I don't know if it is how it is in UK. Is it how it is over there? Hello, are we with me?
It's similar, yeah.
Okay, fine. So once you go, you register. Normally they give us form here in Nigeria. If we're using manual, they give you form, you fill out the subject or the courses you are doing, then you sign. You take it to administrative block, they log it in. So assuming you are the administrator and you issue out those forms and they bring it, then you need to log in the system. And this is where you do it. Create. Select the student admission number. Now the current term is already here. The system has shown you we are in term 2 according to the system. The current academic session, academic year is here already. The date the term started is here already here. So all you need to do, this particular student is taking primary agricultural science. You capture it, you click on add, you just capture, you take it abstract, add, just like that. Any of them you don't want, you remove. So you capture it for this student and you create. Then you capture for another student, you create, or you are done, get finished. Now let's go back because this thing is already captured for some people. Now you can view the ones that are captured for this. You can view, you see 13 subjects captured for this particular student. You can edit from here. If this student now is not offering this in this term and you mistakenly captured it, all you need to do is just come here, click on remove. The system remove that. Just like that. It's not taking this one, click on remove. Now you might be wondering, why will somebody make such mistakes? Seeing that he or she was given a form and he filled it out, brings it to you, and you made the mistake of capturing the subject that is not there. And there's a reason for that. Instead of you coming to be doing this thing one by one for 226 students in the school, no, that work is going to, even if you are going to use the Excel sheet, that work is going to be very tedious. Now we have something here, pardon me, I'm moving into another place, I will still come back, called student courses registration. Under enrollment auto update, student courses registration. Student courses registration, once you click on this run update, the system will go to each class, takes the student in that class, keep them one side, take the subject that we have mapped to that class, then assign those subjects to those students in that particular class. So for each subject you assign to a particular class, each student in that class, if it is 13 or 20 something subjects that you have assigned to that class, that remember subject, classes and subject mapping here. Classes and subject mapping here that we did. So all the subjects you map for that class, the system is going to pick them and assign them to all the students in that class. So if it is 26 subjects that you assign to the class, so each student is going to have 26 subjects assigned to them. So the system helps you to do that work once and for all. So in classes here in Nigeria, that you have the senior classes that have elective subjects and the core subjects and the subjects that are not that compulsory. So they what I mean is that they choose from number of subjects, they choose from the ones they are to do. So now you just need to come to this place, enrollment data entry, go to update, go to that student like I did before. Like this student now is in SS3A, for example. And in SS3A, they have all these subjects in SS3A, but he or she is taking 9 out of this, the whole subject that you have here. So all you need to do is just remove the ones he or she is not taking for the term. Remove it and update. And that takes care of the challenge. So that is what this enrollment data entry and student courses registration does. All right, so now let us go back to enrollment transaction. We have activation, we have the activation. Now, I'm supposed to start with activation, but without the activation, there will not be any activation. Reason being that in this file system solution, we don't delete student data. We don't delete student data. We used to do that before, but when the thing was upgrading, we discovered that it doesn't make sense because once you have the student data, just like your normal manual operation, you don't, because a student has left the school, you now throw the file away and burn it. Because the student might come back to school any day, anytime to ask for one thing or the other. So all you need to do is just to go to the file of that student, bring that information, and make it available for the student. So for current system solution, the data will be there. Even when students left the school, so the person might come back at a later date to continue. Maybe the person started JSS1, left JSS3, decided to come back SS2. So you already have that student information. All you need to do is just do small editing and you carry on. But in case maybe the person comes back after some years that, okay, I'm looking for my result of SS2 in the school. Then if you have deleted the student data, that would have been a problem. But because the data is still in the system, you can quickly go and retrieve that information from the system. So instead of deleting, we have what we call a deactivating. We deactivate the student. Once you deactivate the student, either you go from here or here. Once you deactivate the student, all the privileges like processing the student result and all that, the system will not be, we stop it. We pause doing it until that student is deactivated again. Like sending information, SMS via mail. Remember what I explained concerning sponsor email and sponsor phone number. So the sponsor, that's why will not be receiving those mails again. We deactivated something. Just normal in deactivation sense. That is what it does. You deactivate that student. So all you do to do that is select the student admission number, the reason now. You see that status or that separation code now, you can see it where it's laying out in many of the subdivision that we have entered. You select the user admission number here. This person, reason for leaving. Maybe he or she was transferred, or he was graduated, or the reason is not there. You go back, you create the reason, you come, you select it. The date this is going to take effect. You put it here. Generate final B. You want the final B to be generated for that particular student? Yes. If you don't want, no, you create. So you have deactivated the student now. Let us look at the list of students. So you see here now, all the students here, the students that are deactivated. You can see you only have view. You don't have edit, you don't have delete, so you can't do that. But if you deactivate a student, up to 33 pages, can you imagine? Okay, you have these ones now, yes. This is what I was driving at. Some are having views only, but some are having edit and delete. You know why? This has been that the effective date, the system has not gotten to that place. Once the system gets to the effective date, the system is going to carry out the necessary things it should carry out. Then the system is going to, this one, they are going to be removed and you only have view here. Now we have activation entry. In the cases whereby the student was readmitted into the school, the student now is now readmitted into the school. Now, you are going to activate the student. You are going to activate the student. When you click on this student admission number, you select a particular student. So what happens here is that this one will now take you to the list of the activated students. So you select the student you are activating back. Now the reason now will change from whatever it was to current. The effective date now, this will take effect. You put it here. You do something, you specify, you press, you have activated the student. But it's not going to reflect in the system now. It's not going to reflect in the system. Reason being that it has not gotten to the effective date. So you see here and I see process record. Yes, yes, yes. So all these ones are processed already. But if there's one that is not processed, you will have been seeing a bit delete here because it was not processed. Now, how does the system get to the date, effective date? How does it get to the effective date? That brings me to close of business run. We're about running up. Close of business run. In the bank or in the school, we are in the school setting, of course. So in the school, once the activities of the day is done, the ledger or the record of that day is closed for the day, so that the next day, the dates will be written and everything that was done as regards to that date will be written or recorded against that date. That is the same concept that happens here in case of business run. So you see now, you have the last working day. Okay, let's go. So this process will carry out update of all payments that have been made in the system from the last update if you have processed billing. If you click on run, close of business run to continue on cancel to update. So where I'm driving at is that this process will carry out update of all payments that have been made in the system. All payments, all the activation, all the activities that were not concluded. The system is going to give the final verdict when you run this thing. Close that date, open the system for a fresh date. Now, you have last working date here is 16th of 12, 2023. Current working date, 9th of, because the current working date here, we've not been running close of business run in this particular environment. That's why we have it as the first day the school resumes. But if it is a live environment, whereby is a life as in schools, is a client environment, whereby they do their daily activities, they run it, but we run it for them. Because they can't come and be doing some things that need editing and all that and giving issues up and down. Until they master how to use the system before we give them, we finally hand them over to the running close of business one. When they are mature to the independence on their own, we hand over this part is very, very delicate. All right, so see the current working date the next working date now will be this day. Next calculated will be the same thing. So when you run this thing, the system will shift from this day to this day. So let's run close of business one. Daily update successfully. Now you see activation, the activation record process now is key. So those ones that you are seeing, edit, delete, they have been processed. You will not see those options again, you only see view. So it processes the enrollment record 0. There was no person that was deactivated. Number of payments processed 1. So somebody made payment on 9. So the system has processed it. Was any B written off? No. 0. Last working date, this current working date has changed to this. The next working date will be 11. So run this one again. If you take the system from 10th to 11th, and the next working day will be 12. So that is what close of business run does. It closes the system for the current working day and opens it for the next working day. So that whatever you do in the system will be processed against the main date it was done. So that is that for that. Now we have another option here, move student to the next class. This is done at the end of the session. Once you click on this, all the students in a lower class will be promoted to the higher class. Now the last and not the least, which is in every module of class system solution, is what we call the enrollment report. So we're not going to waste much time on this, in that any of them, of the report you see here, will have the view, the print, the save, the save as a select. So when you use the view, you're only going to have the view option. So this is the view. You only have view. Or you can, if you don't want to view, you're in a hurry, you can just print directly. You can save this as PDF in your system. You can save it as Excel in your system, and you can print whenever you have the time to print. So that is how it is in all of these options here across this particular billing enrollment module. Across it, you have all of them here. Then report. Let's see the report. So basic student data, contact details, then guardian details, school population. Let's see school population and let us view. So for this class, we have 1 female, 0 male, number on row, just 1. For this, we have 1 male, 0 female. For this CSS1, we have 15 males, 4 females, and that's just the summary of the population of the school. That is what that is using. So total, we have 148 males, 106, 109 females, and 257 students in all I will have in this school. So this information now, you can print it, you can save it, you can save a PDF, save as Excel in your system. Now there is one option here under the enrollment report that we call the live table, that is peculiar on its own, different from every other table. When you come to the live table, you can select any of these options here that you want to really see. Now, the importance of this live table is that when you finally get to the upload module and you're at a loss on how to go about it, you go to that module proper in the current system solution live. You go to that particular field, you create an entry in that particular field. Once you do that, just create one, only one. Like, let's say for student biodata, for example, and this is a fresh environment, you don't know how to go about it in your Excel sheets. You have downloaded that from the upload module. We'll come to that when we get to the upload module. And you don't know what to do. You come to the system, you capture a student in the student biodata. Then you come back, you come to enrollment report, go to live table. Then go to, I'm already even student biodata table. You go to this place. You select, you load it. So once you load it, the system opens it up for you. So the same fields as they are here, of course, the Excel template you are going to download is going to carry these headings on their relevant columns. So you see now, this one will be on the Excel, this one will be on the Excel, but empty column down, all of them. So all you need to do is just to come to this place, look at exactly how it is shown you here. Then do the same thing on the Excel sheet. When you upload, the system will accept the data. But if you go ahead to do your own and you don't follow what is here, because I don't know, maybe you are smarter than the system will block the data and you still have to go back and redo what you are required to do to us for the system to accept that data. So that is the peculiarity of this school annexing. And whenever you create something to school life table rather, whenever you create something in the system and you can't find it when you use the update, you search for it, you toggle between the pages, you can't find that thing. You come back, you come to this for you to really know whether the system captured that information and it is a bug in the system. Use live table. Go to that particular table in live table, load it. If you see that information here in live table and you can't find it when you use the update, then it's a bug that needs to be fixed. You report it. Now you can export this information directly to your system via Excel if you use this export icon that is here. So it is not only in biodata, you can have that across others and even up to the history. You can see here, you see student biodata history. So this history now is people that have left, as in people have graduated from the school. They are no longer in the school. So their record is moved to history. So you can come to this history table and have access to their information. Because now the information will not be showing live on the dashboard. But if you come here, come to history, you are going to find that information. So let's load history. Now see all these people are the people that have left, that have graduated from the school. And some of them that left the school, some of them that graduated from the school. This is their information here. All right, before I date record move to history. All right, so that is that for the crown enrollment. I think I'm done. I'm ready to take your question, observation, and comment. Quickly, let's start with you, Pastor Phineas, so that we can wrap it up. Is he still there with us?
Yes, but I didn't hear the last part.
Yeah, I said let's have your question, your comment, and observation before we wrap it up.
Wow. Really, I don't have questions for now, but I just want to commend the software. It's very, very peculiar. I think this is my first time of seeing something like this. So I would want to comment our Daddy, Pastor William, and yourself and the team. You're doing a great job. And then the teaching, you did a great job. So that's the comment I have for now. As soon as the video is available, I'll go over again. So and pick up from yeah.
You already have your credentials to this particular environment, I think.
Yes.
So when you are doing your hands-on, you have any doubt, you can
Mm.
always come to that platform.
Okay.
That will be able to pass it out. Right, Samuel, your question,
Yeah.
comment.
I don't have any question. I think maybe with more like testing, I'll be able to, because from what I've seen so far, it seems pretty straightforward. So maybe just I don't know, familiarity with the software. It might be like better to just like deal with test students, test classes to sort of implement them, and maybe like go through a checklist of creates like a report of this class or something. Um, but yeah, I don't have any questions so far. But what have you gone through?
So the same thing I said to Pastor Famous, I said to you, bring your hands on. If you have any doubt, report it on the platform and we will go through it together. All right, finally, please, let's hear from you.
Yeah, I don't have any questions. It seems pretty straightforward. I've already been over the software previously, so it was a good refresher on how things worked. Yeah, I don't really have any questions. Again, it's just about, logging in myself and making sure I understand all the different modules at this point.
I remember we have gone through this training before with you. Just a little upgrade
Yeah.
on what we had previously. All right, thank you everyone for your time. Tomorrow morning I'm going to somewhere, but I'll be available from 3, God's willing. So we'll be doing the billing tomorrow from 3. I don't know if it is okay by us. 3 p.m.
3 p.m. won't be okay for me. I would be picking my daughter from school by then.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Yes, 1 p.m. is fine for me.
Right. How about that? 1 p.m. fine for you?
Yeah, 1 p.m. is okay for me.
Same for me as well.
Okay. So tomorrow then we'll handle the billing. But I would like you to go through this what you have done in enrollment today. I'll be sending
Okay.
the just give me your email addresses on the platform. So I will send the video across now.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You have a wonderful day.
Thank you for your time.
And
Take
thank
care.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.